This PSA was brought to you by the Peter G Show.
You may have second thoughts after the show.
Don't drink the faucet. We're really talented. We should get Oscars.
Just pick out a car, for Christ's sake.
No, hi, my name is Peter.
Yeah, I want.
Here's good.
Yeah.
Madam Perry.
I need to get back in the genie bottle.
Louis from Pennsylvania, you're on. He likes it. It's showtime.
Peter G Show, Peter G Show, divorced dad, single dad, divorced dad, single dad, Peter G Show.
That's right, showtime Wednesday, and it couldn't get here soon enough. I kind of chomp at the bit at the end of the month because it's Wednesday, and it's Life with Peter G, the Peter G Show, every Wednesday like clockwork. 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, and 9 p.m. on the East Coast. God willing, we're all here. I want to thank everybody who's going to be tuning in and is tuning in and will be tuning in the future. Whether you watch it live or catch it on demand, I appreciate you and I love you for doing it. We got a pretty damn good show tonight. I think what I like about the last Wednesday of the month. And again, we've kind of been all over the map. A lot of change that went on this year, if you're keeping up with the program. But, a lot of guests are going to be involved now. Once again, we're back on track, kind of. But I try to keep the end of the month open. Number one, I like doing current events because I like to talk about what I want to talk about and go at my own pace because I think it's important for you guys. And number one, in case there's something that I want to throw in, a last minute guest or anything, it gives me an open availability to do that. But I like doing this. As much as I love having the guests, believe me, it's easier having guests because when I have to put together a lot of content, it's a little bit of a pain in the butt, but I enjoy it because I feel it's important. So tonight, that's what we're doing. We're going to be talking about things that are important to be talking about. Why? Because here at the Peter G Show, it's entertainment with a purpose. And that's all I got to say about that. So I'm glad you're tuning in. Don't forget, you can comment. If you're watching from the official Facebook Peter G Show, you can comment live. If you're watching from the official YouTube Peter G Show, if they didn't pull me down yet, you can comment live. And if you're watching from the official LinkedIn Peter G Show page, you can comment live. Otherwise, if you're watching from one of the other few Facebook pages and things like that, I can't see your comments. So do me a solid. Go on over to the official pages, hit the follow or the subscribe, whatever the kind of button it is. On Facebook, it's like, I think, or follow. YouTube, it's subscribe. It's all free. And that way you're keeping up with the times. You'll be on the right page and you can comment. I want to see your comments. I'm going to be talking about things that you may or may not agree with. All right? And that's all good. I don't need everybody just going, yeah, Peter, yeah, Peter, yeah, Peter. It's good to hear everybody's opinion. I don't get mad if, although a lot of people get mad at me, but that's okay. That's okay. But you have the ability to comment. And if I open up the phones at times, you can actually call in and get it off your chest. But tonight, that's what we're doing. We're doing things you need to talk about or things we need to talk about, current events. I've been waiting all month, gathering some things. I had to let go of a lot of things because there's so much news in the news. But that's okay. I think we'll have a good grip on what's going on tonight by the time we finish up. So that's what's going on tonight. Also, before I get going here, next week, I want to tell you about next week too, because I always like to keep you, while I got you right now, you may want to write this down in your calendar, you may not. Next week, Wednesday, April 1st, New York Nick. For those of you who've kept up through the years, New York Nick, a Pensacola veteran radio show host, rock radio show host, and Also, he used to own a business of his own right there. He was the king of Palafox. He recently, last year, got out of the business. I say he retired. He begs to differ. He says he quit. I don't know what the difference is. You quit, you retire. Either way, you're not doing it anymore. And we spoke to him right before he walked away from his business. Got out of his business, sold it, so to speak. And now I told him, I said, 6 months from now, you're going to be crawling up the walls, not knowing what to do with yourself. Well, I waited more than 6 months. It's been approximately a year. So Wednesday, April 1st, I'm going to have New York Nick. And he always used to host his weekly radio-free Pensacola radio show, which I've appeared on many times. And we used to Facebook it through FaceTime, whatever it was, Facebook Live, that's it. And a lot of cutting up. And we had a lot of good times. So he's going to be on the show next week. And what better time to have him on than Wednesday, April 1st? Joke's on us. And also, while I have him on, I've decided we may even do reading the Peter G Show's hate comments, and I'll get Nick's take on how these comments come out and what he thinks about them, because I have to read them all the time. I don't have to. I do read them. And I go, never heard that one. But some people are very creative. So we're going to have a good time next week as well, and see what's going on with New York Nick. All right? That's what you're going to want to do. I think that'll be entertaining. And that's, with a purpose, I'm not so sure. But it'll be entertaining. Tonight's going to be entertainment with a purpose. That's for sure. Look, before we get going, right? Am I right? Yeah, let's go before we go. Yeah. Reminder, share. Share. If you like the shows, share them, please. Share them with a friend. That's the best thing you can do for me. Subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And don't forget, I know, a lot of people just getting off of work in the West Coast. It's only 6 o'clock over there. And, you can put an earbud in your ear and listen to the audio version of the Peter G Show. Just Google Peter G Show podcast, and you can put an earbud in your ear. You can listen to one of over 400 shows on demand. Do it while you're exercising. Do it while you're walking. Listen while you're at work, because work is boring. You know what I mean. All right? So that's the way to do it. But don't forget, again, share with a friend. That's the best thing you can do for me. We work really hard over here. Been at it since the 40s, and we're growing. And I love you for it. So do that. Before we really get going, I think we should get the moon and stars in order. What do you think? I think we should have a little astrological moment and find out where we're going this week and hear from Moon Mistress Tarot, and she'll tell you what your future is going on for this week. I know where mine's going. You don't want to know, but here, check her out.
Hello, my loves, and get ready. We are about to enter a rare 6-week portal with 0 planets in retrograde. And what does this mean? It means that the cosmos are lifting all restrictions, any delays. If something has felt stuck, it's going to move. If something has been unclear, it's going to make sense. Pure momentum energy is what's going to happen. And my loves, this is the perfect time to set those intentions out there. The universe is going to respond much faster to all of your intentions. Manifesting is going to happen much easier, my darlings. Flowing freely is exactly the energy that's going to happen. So let's see what's going on. It's a collective energy. Whoa! All right, my darlings. New loves are available. New love, if you want it, baby. New love. A new love for a project. New love for someone. A new love coming in for you. And, oh yeah, 10 of Cups, that's all about good vibes, baby, of good things happening, of contentment, of peace, of things going smoothly. And yes, Fool card tells you there may be a new adventure for you. It tells you this is the time, and it is, with all the planets, with all the cosmic energy happening right now, this is the time to take that leap, to trust in something new, my loves. Energy is incredibly beautiful right now, my darlings. So, as always, you are the magicians, baby. And to find out what's going on and how it's going to affect your sign, moonmistresstarot.com, my loves. And back to you, Peter.
Well, see, now I know what's going on for this week. Thanks, Moon Mistress Tarot. And again, to find out more about your astrological journey and make a cosmic connection, go to moonmistresstarot.com and check her out. She'll let you know what's going on for your future. And the future is now. Speaking of future, the Blue Angels just flew home back to Pensacola this week, folks. I'm sure many of you are aware who love the Gulf Coast and love the Blue Angels. I know I do. And they made their approach back across the beach, made a lot of noise, said, hey, we're home. They'll be here for the summer, on and off while they're traveling, doing their shows, looking forward to it. And I'm sure they'll be waking me up on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays while they practice. It's okay, though. That's the one time it's like, you know what? It's all right. I dig it. It's like hearing race car motors. Never gets old. I can step outside and just take a look, and there they are. Because I live on the base. Yeah, I bet you didn't know that, right? All right. Also, spring break. How's spring break going for a lot of people? I'm telling you, the youngsters out there, some are good and some are raising a lot of hell. I forgot there was so much stuff for this week. I wanted to show you some content from Daytona. Daytona started getting out of hand. You know, it used to be Fort Lauderdale really got wild. All the young kids, getting drunk and accidents happening, doing stupid stuff, falling off of balconies to your death. That's really not good. But just doing stupid stuff. Now, then it moved from Fort Lauderdale and Panama City way on over because Fort Lauderdale got tired of all that crap. They're going, we love having fun and all that, but you guys just come in and wreck the joint and then leave, you crazy kids. So then all of a sudden, years later, it started getting popular. They moved on up the coast and they went over to Panama City and started trashing Panama City. And it's still going on over there. But now this year, I saw that it was Daytona. Daytona started getting a bunch of things going on over there, and it started getting way out of hand. And there's a lot of videos out there of like, come on, you guys, have a great time, but don't, what? And it was different. It's different. I mean, I don't want to put color into this whole thing, but that's the only way I can do it. All the white kids do stupid stuff. We're getting drunk and doing stupid stuff, being drunk. Now in Daytona this year was like all the black kids, the girls were just fighting with each other. It's like, why? Can't we all just get along? And I hate saying it like this, but it's the damn truth. It was like, okay, I mean, there's, everybody intermingles. There's no doubt about it. But then again, you still got your congregations of like, everybody wants to hang around with their friends. And, but they're fighting. It's like, what you fighting about? Have a good time. You're supposed to be on spring break having a great time. So have a great time. And man, oh man, and I don't want to say, again, I hate saying it, but just like, black folks, don't fight. Stop it. I mean, I know there's a white brawl here and there too, but this was like mobs. The cops had to come in with their cars in a row, and you see shoving them down, trying to disperse them. And it was just drones. I was watching an aerial view, and it's like everybody's just globs of kids just, running and going all different places. It's just kind of dumb. Come on. I mean, I guess you'll figure it out when you get older, but whatever. You're living in the moment. Just behave. Come on, don't give everybody a reason to start, talking about you. I'm talking about it, but I'm just saying, stop. Stop. We are all one. Have a good time. It'd be different if I'll tell you what, it'd be different if it was like blacks and whites fighting against each other, but it's not. It wasn't even that. So it's not racially motivated. It's just pure stupidity, young stupidity. Girls, the funny part. Right. Funny part is the girls ripping off each other's weaves. Just weaves are blonde, red, black. Shit's going all over the place. That was entertaining, but it's still not right. It's not right. Okay? So behave. Stop it. Or they'll end it all. They'll end up, making it like not being able to cops will, and I don't blame the cops. They got enough to do. But stop it. Just behave. I don't see how you can't have a good time. Why you got to fight? Just my 2 cents. But I forgot to bring in the video. I have so much stuff today to show you tonight that it just slipped my mind up until I saddled in and they hand you the clipboard and go, here, now your turn. So here, my turn. Anything else going on here? We got spring break. Yes. No, I think that Sunday, this coming Sunday, it's going to be American Palm Sunday, 1 week before American Easter. So I'm sure a lot of people are aware of that. But I mean, the reason I say American Easter is because the Orthodox Easter is a week following this year, which I always talk about because I'm Greek Orthodox. We follow a different calendar, and 1 year it's right on the money with the American Easter. 1 year it's a week later. 1 year it's 3 weeks later. It's just different. They go by the moons, and they coincide with the Jewish calendar. And I don't know, somehow or another, the Catholics changed the calendar, had a discrepancy on when Lent actually starts. That's what it boils down to. I'll talk about that as we get deeper into it. But anyway, I just wanted to mention, in case you forget, next week's Palm Sunday, folks. There. That's done. Also, we got a lot of content tonight. But before we get going, I want to hear from my good friends over at Clean Start Products with their money-saving fuel additive DX1 driver. Because let's face it, folks, it makes sense to save money. And here we are once again. I don't want to hear anybody bitching, but gas is expensive right now, only for a little bit longer. But still, you should be saving your money, whether it's cheap or whatever. Who wants to pay more for whatever? Be right back after this.
Let us help you with the high price of fuel. Hello, I'm Ty Thompson at CleanStarProducts.com. We can optimize your engine, saving you money and gas. Here's how. Our program works the same with gasoline and diesel engines. Whether you're using a car pack or SUV pack, the instructions are the same. Add 1 bottle to your engine oil, and each time you change your oil, add 1 bottle to the fuel tank each and every fuel fill-up. It's that easy. You get 10% fuel economy on average, lower emissions, and increased horsepower. DX1 sells for $2 an ounce, so for just a few dollars a fuel tank, you can optimize your engine, saving you money and gas. Come on, give it a try. It's the finest green grade oil in the world from a California environmental company. You're going to feel it when you drive. Order online today. We'll get it out right away. CleanStarProducts.com/shop.
That's it. It's pretty plain and simple, and it's easy breezy to use. For example, this little bottle right here, you just take a little bottle like this. It goes in most 4-door sedans. It'll service a regular 4-door sedan. Now, I drive a bigger vehicle. The bottle's a little bit bigger because I drive an 8-cylinder. But for most 6-cylinders, 4-cylinders, all that, you take this little bottle. It's best if you drop one in a clean oil change. Just add it to the oil change. Lasts the whole oil change. That's a long time. It's 5,000 miles on average. Then, every time you fill up your tank, you put this in, and then add your fuel, fill up the tank, and drive. It couldn't be any simpler than that. It just couldn't. It's that simple. I noticed the difference within about 3 tankfuls of fuel that I started getting better response. I have a heavy vehicle, and you got to put your foot in it to go. And I started noticing, and on top of the better gas mileage, I mean, more than anything, it helps preserve your vehicle, your engine, more lubricity, keeps things less friction. And I got to tell you, more than anything, go to an auto repair shop. You're not going to get out for under $1,000 for something minimal nowadays. So do yourself a favor. Good food, good body. Go to CleanStarProducts.com. Get all the information you need and just order you some. Mention you saw it on the Peter G Show and they will send you 5 bottles for the price of 4. It's pretty simple. But you got to mention you saw it on the Peter G Show. But it can't get any easier than that. Again, good food, good body. You don't think you need it until something breaks down and then you're going, damn, that would have been I could have avoided that repair bill. Make your car last longer, man. They don't make cars like they used to either. The tolerances are different in the pistons and it's really stupid. So take care of your car because they're really expensive to fix. All right. Okay, so what are we doing now? Oh, I know what we're doing. We're going to take a little sip. Get the show started. Current events night, folks. Buckle up. Got some interesting stuff. And again, you're more than welcome to comment. Everybody's real quiet tonight in the comments, not even saying hello, but that's okay. Hello from Peter G Show. Here's to all you guys. I love you guys, and let's learn something tonight and have a little bit of fun and be glad that we're all here. I'm glad you made it. So salute. Smooth. It's true. Hang on one second. Oh, yeah. That'll put lead in your pencil. Okay, so again, I haven't been able to talk about this stuff all through the month because last week we had expert on Islam, Paul Sutliff. He talked about the cancer, what he feels is the cancer of civilization, Islam, which he's kind of got a point there. They really don't care about Western civilization. They want to come in and take over and put you in pajamas and turn you into a wife beater and and pray to Muhammad. Oh, look, here's our first one. Right on. Pensacola in the house, the way it should be. Glad you could make it, my brother. But so, last week we talked about something I believe is very pertinent because you're not going to realize how bad things are going to get until it gets really bad. And then you're going to go, oh, crap. Because these guys are, I'm not prejudiced either, but they will not. If you go into their country and try to be American, they're going to kill you. I mean, flat out kill you. But they come into this country and we just accept them, which, we want to be loving, accepting people, but they don't want to assimilate to Western culture. They're coming here and they're multiplying and they're slowly wanting to eradicate Western culture. And if you don't think that's real, you better check again. Don't be so naive. It's happening. They'll flat out tell you to your face. I've got many videos that they flat out telling you. They want to take over America. They're taking over England. I don't know how the hell England's allowing this to happen. I don't think it'll be that simple here in America because there's too many armed citizens. One day push is going to come to shove. But the thing is, we're letting them grow too much. It's like, again, I welcome anybody to this country if they want to respect this country and for the culture that we have, which isn't a bad culture. But see, they don't like freedom. Only freedom the way they like it. So take it as you wish. But last week, so this week, I got a lot of things. I'm going to talk about things I picked up at the beginning of the month and up to now that's going on between the wars and all that. But I think it's pretty good stuff. But we're getting a lot of pushback. Everybody, not everybody, a lot of people are just brainwashed with this. ICE bad. ICE is bad. The border, and how dare we send back illegal alien criminals who've committed crimes and murders? How dare we just pick them up off the ground? And and we're killing Americans. And again, it's tricky, especially when they've trained you to hate. But the one thing I always kept bringing up through these past few years is that big old open border that we were experiencing through the Biden administration. They lost. There was unaccompanied children coming in. How they were coming with strangers, coyotes, whatever, sold to the coyotes to be brought in over the border for sex trafficking, slave labor, you name it. Almost 400,000 children came over that border that the government lost track of and don't know where they are. That's almost 500,000 kids, just children, that our own government swept under the rug and go, we don't know where they're at. Well, Trump came into office and he says, we're going to try to find who we could find, although it's a good possibility that probably half of them are already deceased. They don't care. They're treated, they're throwaway. They're disposable. Well, I want to talk about ICE because this is those raids that were going on in Minnesota's and all the ones that were getting heavily advertised. There's things going on all over the country. And while they're doing these raids, their main purpose is to bust illegals that are criminals that just walked over the border. Now we're in fear of friggin' Muslim terrorists that came in. I mean, how much easier do you want to make it for them? They just came in through the border. Hey, go get settled in America. And when it's time to start blowing shit up, we'll let you know. We'll find out, unfortunately, the hard way. And again, if you don't think that this stuff is real, wake up. But I'm going to do a little video because ICE does a lot of good. They have found a lot of children. God knows what has happened to them, during the process, but they've been found. At least they've been found and accounted for. Not all of them. Like I said, I don't think we're going to find all of them, but here, check this out, and then we'll talk about some more. So here you go.
129,000. That's how many children have been found during Donald Trump's second term. Those were children that were lost during the Biden administration when they came across the border, unaccompanied minors coming across the border, and no one knows where they went. Everybody wants to scream, abolish ICE, but most of these children were found during ICE operations. Here in the DHS Homeland Security website, the number is actually more. It says that the Health and Human Services has located 132,720 children. It also says that the Biden administration had lost more than 450,000 children. Do you have any idea how big that number is? You have to keep this in mind. These were all unaccompanied minors, meaning they were all brought to this country without parents, without guardians, without anyone that really cares for them. And this entire time, they have been probably living a life that you can only dream up in your worst nightmares. If Trump didn't enforce his immigration operations, where would these children be right now? Still living the hell that they've been living every day since they've been lost. Let that one sink in.
I realize a lot of people don't think about this because you're busy with your lives and you just don't think about it, but it's the truth. And I can't even imagine. I mean, these kids are helpless. They're helpless kids, and they've been taken advantage of doing ungodly, who knows what they've been forced to do. And then again, a lot of them, they don't care. They're just disposable. And Trump himself said it. He says, we're not going to find them all. A lot of them are probably gone already. Because God knows the stories we heard about crossing the borders with the rapes, the coyotes, and the raping women and kids and all that. They don't care. They don't care. But we forget about these things. And that's what really stinks. So I'm bringing this to your attention that, stop with the brainwashing that the left has forced you to do. They're doing good things. But if you get in their way, sometimes it gets a little out of control. It's hard deciphering the good guys from the bad guys anymore. And then you get these stupid liberals that just are, getting in the way to have a cause because they're dumb. Okay? You're just being dumb. Leave them alone. They're not doing anything that doesn't need to be done. I wish we didn't have to have this all going on, but we do, because millions have walked through the borders freely, and now we got to weed through and get the bad ones out. We just do. There's a lot of people self-deporting. The government's paying people to turn yourself in. We'll give you I can't remember how many. They call a few $1,000s goes a long way down in South America. We're going to get you. We're going to send you back home. You've been led here on false pretenses. It's a lot harder to survive here than you think. On top of that, what did we do? Everybody was getting free money, free cell phones, free health care, and then the people that I know and love bitching about Social Security and blaming it on the orange man. How can you blame it on him? First, they're constantly screaming about there's no money, we're going to go broke, Social Security is going to go broke. And yeah, we're going to go broke because they're giving it all to these people who are coming in who haven't put any money in, and we're just giving it to them. So there's your money right there. We're going to get in deep on this right now. But And there's a little, it's just a little eye opener. All right. So let's start with Social Security, because that's a big deal. I hear people complaining right now. It's hard to get by, and we should never have to worry about this, but we do. So here, this is about, what's going on in these past few years and where we're going with this whole money thing and why it's happening. So stop, get your head out your butt and quit blaming the orange man. He didn't do this. There you go.
Okay, here's some interesting information. Doge is still at work, and they found out that, okay, with the Social Security Administration, the Biden administration added about over 4 million illegal immigrants to the Social Security rolls. Not only did they add about 4 million, really, and in the last year of the Biden administration, they put over 2 million on there, okay, of that 4 million. So they were ramping up, okay. But when they put these people on, okay, this is gonna make you so mad. They gave them the amount of money that they granted them was the maximum benefit that you could get from Social Security. So imagine if you were, an American who worked your whole life at a high-end job. I'm talking making money, right? Good money. Okay. And you finally retired and you got the absolute maximum. That's what they gave these illegal immigrants. They gave them the maximum. I mean, so tens of billions of dollars, billions with a B, were going out every month to illegal immigrants from the Social Security Administration. Yeah. And for how long were they telling us, oh, Social Security is going broke. It's going broke. There's not going to be enough money. How could there be enough money? They've given it away to all these illegal immigrants. And dead people and vampires. Remember, they had the one person who was on there who was hundreds of years old. Steam is coming out of my ears. Steam.
It should be coming out of your ears too, because God knows how many times I'm on Facebook and I hear somebody complaining about it. I know that I have friends that are on either disability or Social Security, and they're probably getting $1,200, $1,800 a month. The maximum is $40-something hundred. If you worked your whole life, let's say you had a great life, you worked a great job, you made a lot of money, you paid in, you're entitled to over $4,000 a month. Okay? So then all of a sudden, these people come across the border, never worked a day in their life over here, never paid a penny in taxes, and they automatically gave them Social Security numbers, gave them free health care, gave them the maximum benefit of over $4,000 a month. The benefit that you, the people that I know, and many people all around the whole country are not able to receive because they didn't put in enough through their years and then suddenly got sick or incapable of working anymore, whatever, and they're only getting $1,200 to $1,800 a month. And these people that just came in out of nowhere don't even know if they're going to work, because why should they? They're going to get $4,000 a month. I know that my friends could live very nicely on $4,000 a month. If you live in the right spot in the country, not California. And they're just giving them that money. So where do you think the money came from? You. Here, I'm going to give you one more. This is more detail, and then I'll get off of it. But you need to understand, because every time I see people posting about this stuff, it angers me a little bit because you just don't get it. So I'm trying to spell it out for you. Stop blaming the orange man and start blaming the people who allowed this to happen. We should not be giving. I'm all about taking care of people, and we should be able to take care of our homeless and everything else. And it never happens. And now we're uncovering all this billions a year in frauds in every single state. Fraud, fraud, fraud. People are lining their pockets, and we're not taking care of anything. And everybody's just sitting back and complaining about it, but still paying in and just letting it happen. When are you going to get pissed off enough and say, you know what, this needs to stop? our government needs to straighten up. Here, one more thing on Social Security, because you need to be angry about this, because again, strangers are getting as much as you could possibly get for just walking over the border, and you worked your whole life and now can't work or whatever, and you're getting a fraction of that. There you go. Enjoy.
I want people arrested, and by the end of this video, you will too. Please share this video with family, friends, and especially Democrats. We now have evidence that Joe Biden and the Democrats lied to the American people. We now have all of the receipts and evidence that they put millions and millions of illegal immigrants on Social Security at maximum capacity, more money than you're receiving. They put them on food stamps. They put them on Medicaid. They even allowed them to vote. Let's go ahead and react to this video together, and you'll see why I am so angry today.
And then you'll notice there's a strange trend here where how many Social Security numbers were issued. Do you want to?
Yeah. So let me tell you what happened here. We started at the top of the system.
I want to talk about a lot of it.
We started at the top of the system, mapping the whole system of Social Security to understand where all the fraud was. And there's a lot of great people there that showed us really a lot of waste. And so that came up with a big list of stuff they're working on. You've heard some of that already, but this is what jumped out at us. When we saw these numbers, we're like, what is this? In 21, you see 270,000 people, goes all the way to 2.1 million in 24. These are non-citizens that are getting Social Security numbers.
Yeah, this is a mind-blowing chart.
Yeah, this literally blew us away. Like, we went there to find fraud, and we found this by accident.
Okay, so they're just trying to clean up Social Security. Democrats say Elon Musk is going to steal your money. These guys, they just go in to find the fraud, and what they find is millions of illegal immigrants purposely put on Social Security, maxed out, and then put into all of the different systems so that illegals could live off of your money, your family, your hard work.
And this isn't political, by the way. My parents are immigrants. Yeah, this country's been great to us. My brother and sister all born in Spain. I'm pro-legal immigration. This is not political. This is not political. This is about America and the future of America. And there are a lot of good people in the system that pointed this in this direction. I want to honor them right now. That work in the government today, who took risks to show us these numbers and tell us what's going on. Yeah. So I want to stop for a minute. I want to honor those people today. Very good people. Very good people. I have been from D.C. to Social Security offices to the border to track this down, and very good people have helped us along the way. I want to thank them.
Yeah.
This number, what this is when you come in the country, if you're an illegal, there's a couple ways to come in. You come in through a port of entry, and you can tell them you're afraid, and they'll give you an asylum case. You'll get an interview, then you get in. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to just go to the border. Literally, this happened. I talked to Border Patrol myself. Elon was there too. I went to Laredo, and I went to Bronzeville. Elon went to Eagle Pass. You walk up to a Border Patrol officer, and you tell them you want to come in. They have a couple of choices. They could charge you with a misdemeanor or a felony under 1325, or they can make it an administrative offense, like a parking ticket, basically. They were told to do that, make it an administrative offense under the last administration. And then you go walk across the border. They do what's called a release from your own recognizance, and they give you an NTA, a notice to appear, which to appear to judge. The wait times on judges are like average 6 years. Look at Grok, you'll see it on immigration judges. There's only 700 of them. This is 5.5 million people. Okay, so what happens then?
Do you understand what Democrats did? All those years, I was updating you with news, telling you that they're letting these people in and that the courts are being stacked up. Now, didn't even cross my mind. They're purposely flooding the courts so that these 700 judges will never be able to get to the over 5 million people that came in that they put on our financial system, our Social Security, our Medicaid. If you are a senior, you should be absolutely out of your mind pissed. And you should be calling your senator and your House of Representative and demanding people be investigated and arrested. No, just arrested. This is absolutely ridiculous. The fact that an illegal is stealing money from the Social Security that takes care of my mother? Are you kidding me?
If you're in the country and you got asylum through one of these pathways, and we map the whole thing out, you can apply for a work document. You file a 765, it's the work form. You get this form called the 766, that's the authorization, and then Social Security Administration automatically sends you in the mail your Social Security number. No interview, no ID.
This is worth just reiterating. It's not people sometimes think that under the Biden administration that he was simply asleep at the switch. He wasn't asleep.
No.
They weren't asleep at the switch. It was a massive, large-scale program to import as many illegals as possible, ultimately to change the entire voting map of the United States and disenfranchise the American people and make it a permanent, deep blue, one-party state from which there would be no escape.
Look, if I hadn't seen this myself, I'm not sure I'd have believed it. I went through it myself and mapped it, and Elon is right. This is true. The defaults in the system from Social Security to all of the benefit programs have been set to max inclusion, max pay for these people, and minimum collection. That's what's happening. We found 1.3 million of them already on Medicaid, as an example. We've gone.
Okay, so almost 5 million come in, over 4 million on maximum Social Security after working 0 days in America. So you have an American man who worked 40, 50 years. They're now collecting Social Security. An illegal immigrant comes in, and within 5 minutes, they get a Social Security, maximum Social Security benefits, and then boom, Medicaid, boom, they get on food stamps, boom, they get disability, all these different programs. It's insane.
On every benefit program we went through, we found groups from this particular group of people, this 5.5 million people in those benefit programs. And then what was really, really disturbing us was why. We're asking ourselves why. Right. And so we actually just took a sample and looked at voter registration records. And we found people here registered to vote in this population, yes.
And who did vote?
And we found some by sampling that actually did vote. And we have referred them to prosecution at the Homeland Security Investigation Service.
Yeah.
Already. That is already happening. Right now. Yeah. And the truly disturbing thing, though, I just want you to know this, a truly disturbing thing to me, and the darkest thing about this to me, the voter fraud is terrible, but the human tragedy this created is extraordinary, because what you don't understand, and people don't know, and Americans need to know, that's why I'm here, is that human traffickers made $13 to $15 billion off of this. Okay? That's the money that's going around the world, moving people around the world to our borders because of these incentives. How does it work? What happens? Hey, if you're in Africa and you're in Central America, you got to walk up through Mexico, through Central America. Who do you pay? You pay the narcos, you pay the traffickers, right? And we were told by ICE, it's between $20,000 and $500, depends where they pick you up, to walk across all those countries and get all the way up to the border. Where's that money goes? It goes to the cartels. It goes to human traffickers, right? There are 30,000 children that have not appeared on the notice to appear already. ICE knows this. 30,000 children, 270,000 children didn't even get notices to appear. ICE told us that kids are being trafficked back and forth across the border to complete families to make this easier. This is a human tragedy. It's not just the money, it's the people and the kids. And how many of these people died on the way up here that didn't make it in? What happened to them? We created a system here that created a incentive for people to come and be taken advantage of by these traffickers. And how do you think they get paid? Well, you're in Africa, Central America, you got $20,000 or $10,000 or $5,000 to pay these traffickers? No, you don't. What happens? You come in, then you owe them the money. You're an indentured servant. If you don't pay them, what happens? What do? They kill your mother, they kill your brother, they kill your family. What happens next? That's what we discovered. And I have to tell you, it's tragic to me. The tragedy, the human tragedy this created is extraordinary. That's the real problem. This is America. We don't do this here in America.
Yeah.
We don't do this here in America.
All right. You guys, I just want to make funny videos. I want to just tell you guys all of the good news. Please share this with family and friends. Share this with Democrats. They don't even know their own party did this. They have a 29% approval rating. And guess what? Around the country, they're winning elections at local levels. Judges, county clerk. I mean, they're still winning. President Trump cannot do all of this. We've got to get out. We've got to do more. Call your representatives. If you're on Social Security, you should be pissed as hell. They're stealing from the program that's supposed to sustain you the rest of your life. It's going to go bankrupt because Joe Biden and Kamala Harris forced millions of people to drain hundreds of billions of dollars out of the Social Security trust. Medicaid is going bankrupt because they put illegal immigrants. Illegal immigrants are voting in your elections. They're voting money for them, not for you.
He's got a point. And you can't blame these people. You can't blame these people. They've been hyped up and said, come to America. It's going to be a great life. And actually, if you could just go somewhere and get free money, more money than you've ever gotten in your entire life, $4,000 a month to them over there, they're more like used to, $400 a month. If they're lucky. Third world countries, and they go, all you have to do, we're going to completely take care of you. All you have to do, we need to make sure you show up and vote Democrat. Fair enough. I'd do it if I didn't know any better. It's your money, people. It's your money. I don't give a shit if you're Democrat, Republican, or whatever. If you're unaware of that, this was going on. And you can say, oh, baloney, because you want to, believe that kind of stuff doesn't happen. There's so much kind of stuff that's happening that you need to be aware of. You just do. You do. We are living, our government has gotten so out of control and crooked. They all need to, not all, 95% of them need to go. And that's the problem. They're not taking care of us. They're taking care of themselves. Sucks. Really does. But anyway. Just thought I'd hip you up in case there are some of you out there who are unaware. And for the ones that are aware, it's a little memory refresher course because that's a lot of money. And that was our hard-earned money that was all given away. Just given away. Free everything, free this, free that, except for you, the American citizen. And again, I think about my people in my life that I know that are struggling, that are on Social Security benefits, and they're complaining and they're just blaming it on the orange man because that's what they have conditioned you to believe. Wake up, please. I say that lovingly. Wake up. And it's hard to fix all this. It really is. There's a million things going on, as you know. But considering, and they're fighting him tooth and nail. They don't want to fix this. They want to keep everything in turmoil because they want control back. They really want you under their thumb. They really do. Speaking of which, tariffs, another brainwashing thing where people, it's like, no. It used to work before. Back before, before World War I, we never paid income tax. Not we, I wasn't born, although it may look like I was. There was no income tax. The whole reason why people separated from England was because they were tired of paying taxes to England. And for quite a while, it was pretty darn good. And then all of a sudden, somebody got this great genius idea that they needed to start charging income tax because of the war. We need the extra money because of the war, World War I. And it'd only be temporary. And that temporary has lasted well over 100 years. And Trump wants to get rid of it through tariffs because tariffs worked in the past. And you guys have been trained, not all of you. They're conditioning you, all these news agencies, to make it tariffs bad. You see him winning every time he's changing it. the other countries are complaining, but then all of a sudden they go, okay, fair enough. They know, but why would they want to pay more when they've been getting away with murder? I don't mean that in that sense, but you know what I mean. Financially, they've been getting away with it for years to their benefit, not ours. So I want to talk about tariffs one more time. Little memory refresher, okay? It's good for you, kids. There you go.
And as time goes by, I believe the tariffs paid for by foreign countries will, like in the past, substantially replace the modern-day system of income tax, taking a great financial burden off the people that I love.
One day, the Federal Reserve will cease to exist, and federal income tax will be unconstitutional once again. Not because of conspiracy, but because these systems were never built on the consent of the governed. And what is built without the people eventually falls by them. In 1913, while Americans were distracted by the holidays, two quiet decisions rewrote the American Republic. The 16th Amendment gave Washington the power to tax your income, and the Federal Reserve Act gave a private banking cartel control over your money. Neither had the consent of the people, and both redefined the relationship between citizen and state. Before 1913, a federal income tax was unconstitutional by design. The founders understood that when government can tax your labor directly, it can control your life. That protection, written into the Constitution, was torn away. And the Federal Reserve, born in secret, at Jekyll Island, drafted by bankers, passed in the dark, a private institution cloaked in public power, beyond elections, beyond accountability. Economist Milton Friedman said it best, "No institution in the U.S. has such a high public standing and such poor record of performance." Let's review that record. The Fed doubled prices during World War I, helped spark the recession of 1929, then turned it into the Great Depression. It fueled the inflation of the 1970s, and in recent decades, it printed trillions to inflate Wall Street while draining Main Street. You didn't vote for this. You never gave your consent. This isn't what the founders envisioned, and it is not what the future demands.
Well, I have long been in favor of abolishing it. I think there is no institution in the United States that has such a high public standing and such a poor record of performance. On the whole, it has a very poor record. It's done far more harm than good.
My friends, we are all anonymous. And with the 250th anniversary of our republic upon us, it is time we, the people, restore what was promised in 1776.
These assholes in government and beyond do not want you, we, the people, to do well. They don't. They have conditioned you to make it feel and sound like the orange man is disrupting, he's ruining everything. He's trying to take things back to the way they were when the getting was good. But the news agencies and the media who are paid propaganda nowadays trust no one, not even here. Do your own work, which most won't. They keep driving it into your head. Orange man bad. He's ruining everything. No, he's ruining their game. And they don't want that. Just keep it in the back of your head, okay? That's all I'm asking. For those who are going to call me names, and I'm going to get all the comments and the name calling and all that kind of stuff, fine. I don't care, all right? But I'm telling you, keep it in the back of your head, because they're not looking out for your best interest. They're looking out for their best interests. Speaking of best interests, since Trump went over to the World Economic Forum and told them to all piss off because they're really pushing for global dominancy, one world order. They were going to get there. If old Kamala got into office, we'd probably be on our knees right now. More. But he also told the World Health Organization to piss off too, because those guys just about took a lot of people out. Follow them, trust the science. All this is coming out too. Again, I know as a population, most people are too busy and they believe everything on the news. Maybe because I have this job that I have had to dive deeper and figure things out better, but farthest from the truth. If you haven't noticed, and I've been seeing articles here and there, more and more different countries, all of a sudden there's a cure. They've got good hope on a cure for this cancer, or they got good hope for Alzheimer's, or something's there's all these new breakthroughs all of a sudden within the past 6 months, these breakthroughs. Because see, there's no good business in healing people. There's good business in keeping people sick and charging them to treat them. We all know that. You don't want to admit it, but we know that. It's not profitable to heal people. And on top of that, that's a little depopulation scheme. You know, Bill Gates, his idea of good health care with vaccinations means taking these things and then down the road, it takes you out years later, but sooner than what you should have naturally gone by, all due to something that just changed everything inside of you, that brought out the worst in you. I don't care if you don't believe me. Tough. The facts are out there. It's out there. Last thing I want to do is start talking about this stuff. You know, I don't, again, and so people can call me names. Call me all the names you want. The facts are out there. That's why I'm talking about it. It's worth it. But their mindset, the smaller the population, the easier it is to control people. The larger the population, it's harder to round up that cattle. They only have so many sheepdogs. You have a big herd of cattle, can't keep them under control. The smarter ones know better. So let's, by natural elimination, wink, wink, through healthcare, we eradicate them. It's a very evil plan, but that's what they're doing. And they're lining their pockets while they're doing it too. Gates has all these medical, he's got his hands in everything. Not only Gates, there's many other people, but I just use him because he's I don't know. He doesn't deserve to be here. And a lot of people are going, he was eliminated in 2019. It's his clone. All right, whatever. It all needs to stop. Okay, it all needs to stop. But it's cynical. Here. Don't believe me? Here's a little more information about the WHO. And I'm telling you, I've been noticing in Russia, they've come up with new discoveries. All this stuff was out there, but it was all suppressed. They didn't want it to come out. Almost like Tesla and free energy. Not Tesla, Elon Musk. Tesla. If they put out and gave you free energy, what's that going to happen to all these power companies and all this big money? So they're never going to let it go. They want you paying for things. It's out there, though, and one day we will get it. We need to raise hell. We're getting close. We're getting close to the edge of enough is enough. But here, let's talk about the WHO and cures and things like that. All the money you give, gazillion dollars for cures for cancer and this and that, and they haven't made progress, at least that we know of, in decades. Where's all that money go? In everybody's pockets that works for them. Here.
So the United States distanced themselves and pulled themselves out of the World Health Organization. And in that time, all of a sudden, scientists from countries all over the world are announcing that they've found cures for cancer, Alzheimer's, HPV. Japanese scientists have used regenerative medicine to restore motor function in paralyzed patients. In China, scientists reversed Alzheimer's in mice, and I saw follow-up news saying that for the first time in 100 years, Alzheimer's may now be reversible because of this progress in science. In Vietnam, doctors use stem cells to cure leukemia. Brazilian researchers discover an earwax test that may be able to detect cancer before tumors form in your body. A team of Korean scientists reversed colon cancer. Mexican scientists successfully eliminated HPV. Doctors in Cuba developed a lung cancer vaccine. And Russia announced that its new cancer vaccine showed 100% success in clinical trials and is now ready for clinical use. And honestly, more power to these scientists. But isn't that something? Isn't it weird? It's almost like the country that loves running people into medical debt because they see healthcare as a business and not a human right didn't want some of the most expensive diseases on the market to be treatable. Interesting how that worked out.
Oh, it is interesting. You know, and you don't blame the scientists. I can understand. The scientist is thrilled. They go, look what I've done. And then the big pharma and all these people, governments and all that, they go, we're going to give you $1 gazillion to not tell anybody. And we're going to take that remedy and we're just going to sit on it because it won't make them, it's good. Think about it if they cured the big C word, okay? All these people that are employed that have been working to try to find a cure for cancer. And all these organizations that get millions and billions of dollars. They don't want that to stop. There's too many CEOs making, 7-figure incomes. They don't want their game ruined. What do they care? They want to sell you stuff to help you not die within let you last a few months longer, but charge $100,000 for treating you, trying to save you. Just saying. Keep it in the back of your head. Don't be stupid. I'm going to circle back around to Project Bluebeam. Hang on. All this knowledge is making me thirsty. I talked about Project Bluebeam and caught a bunch of hell from a lot of people. Again, the name calling. It's just, like this is nonsense, blah, blah, blah. There are deep, dark, deep state governments beneath the government that the government doesn't even know, creating all kinds of evil things so they can keep up doing their evil shit. And I talked about Project Bluebeam. For those of you who don't know, I talked about the second coming. There's so many Christian people that are ready for Jesus to come back, and the second coming, and they've read the Bible, and I get comments. This happened, I talked about this, 6 months ago? To this day, I probably get at least 10 comments a day, like, know your Bible. If you know the Bible, you'll know the truth if Jesus is really coming, and it's not going to be some staged holography through satellites, higher than holography. And he says, you will hear his voice without him speaking. Well, they have a technology for that too, folks. There's so many secretive things going on that we don't know about. But they're out there and they'll tell you to your face, but most people, it just goes right over your head. You're busy trying to live. And I understand that. That's why I'm here telling you now. If you're kind enough to sit and pay attention, just keep it in the back of your head. Once you keep it there and you've heard something about it, you really be surprised how all of a sudden you start picking up all these other little things. You go, wow, I heard Peter say something about that. And now they're saying something about that. And then you start deciphering. When I want to fix something, because I'm kind of handy, I like it. I don't want to do it for a living, but I enjoy fixing things. I get a lot of satisfaction out of that. Why should I pay somebody hundreds of dollars to do something that I'm capable of doing? We didn't have, back in my day, we didn't have YouTube. You had to figure it out. But we have YouTube now. And YouTube, you can get a bunch of knowledgeable people and some jackasses that put up videos showing you exactly how to fix something. And now I have a reference. It's like but way better than a encyclopedia. I mean, it's live. You know how it works, okay? We're living in these times. So you start watching things, and you have to use your own common sense, okay? Let's say there's 10 people showing you how to change the starter on your car. Well, chances are that 3 out of 7 are really not that good at what they're showing you, and maybe they're getting it done, but maybe the hard way. But 7 of them are pretty damn good. They know what they're talking about. And, I always toggle around and just try to figure it out. I go, okay, this is the route I'm going. This guy's got it down. Same thing with all these things I'm talking about. I'm not telling you to believe everybody. I'm telling you to check it out, keep your eyes open, and before long, it'll all come together. So a lot of people start saying, oh, baloney with your Project Bluebeam and also alien invasion. These people are going to get desperate because the majority of the population are starting to wake up and, like myself, like a lot of you, and are getting aware to this stuff and going, hey, wait a minute, this we can't keep living like this. You're running us through the ringer. Everything from the giving the money to Social Security to the illegal aliens to not having cures when we have cures for something. All this, the energy. There's so many things. We've been giving all this money to the new green scam. Nothing has come from it except people lining their pockets, but not your pockets. So they love that because it's their pockets that they're lining. But the minute we start getting hip to it, they got to start scaring you and come up with different ways to keep you down. So they're one of their last resorts, and they won't use it unless it's a last resort because they have nothing left to lose, and they are losing. Trump's dismantling all this bullshit one piece at a time, except for some of the people who are just prone and been trained to hate him. You don't see the forest through the trees, or you just don't see it. It's all bad. He's taking them out one by one. He's got a million things going on. That's why I'm asking you to open your eyes. Because they have these things that if one thing leads to another, we need to scare the hell out of you. Fear tactics. Just like they did during 2020 with the old jabberoonie. They scared the hell out of all of us. And some people started figuring it out. It took me a couple of months. I figured it out that it was baloney. But I got friends to this day that will go and get the 18th booster if it becomes available, which is just nonsense. And it blows my mind. And I don't blame anybody for catching on different times. We all have different journeys in life. But if you blatantly keep on with the blinders and just shame on you, then you just get what you get. And you may get what you get. Some people are just lucky. They may survive some of this stuff, but that wasn't a good deal, what they put in you. And some people just keep going back for more. But I digress. Project Bluebeam. So I'm talking about it again because I want people to be aware, because there is still a possibility about them trying to pull this crap. So here, enjoy. And then let the words fly. Either thanks, Peter, or you can call me all the names you want. But it is what it is. Here you go.
What I'm here to tell people is that when Project Bluebeam is used, again, it's not going to be by the United States. It's not going to be by national. It's going to be by global government. They're the ones who are going to use this stuff. And it's going to be not just a bunch of pretty holograms. They're going to be using it for religious figures. They're going to have Jesus in the sky. But it's not just going to be holograms. There's going to be voice-to-skull technology. It's also going to be used. They're going to be able to have these figures speak to every human being on the planet. Imagine the impact of that they're going to be able to see the figure and also hear the figure talking to them. It's amazing. I think that is the particular reason why Jesus said in the Bible, my sheep hear my voice, and they will recognize my voice. And I think that was an anticipation of when this operation goes forward. And it's going to go forward in conjunction also with the great fake alien invasion. It's going to go forward with that. And who knows, it's going to be also a sweetener. It's going to be, instead of, we're going to have, maybe 10 or 20 UAPs that have incredible destructive capacity against our cities. But then with Project Bluebeam, they can make those appear like 2 or 3 or 400 UAPs. See, that's what they can do. And also these holograms, we call them holograms because That's the word that we know. But they're going to probably have the capacity for noise, for sound, for solidity, temporary solidity as well. But then you can say, well, but then that's not a hologram. Well, yeah, it's probably going to be something that is several steps above a hologram as well. So these are the things that we're facing. And these things are going to be faced all at once.
Clip that. Save it. Keep it in the back of your mind, because again, people say, well, you know, they're not going to have loudspeakers like "I am Jesus." I am Jesus. Obey me. Sorry, I wasn't ready for it. It's not going to be like that. Voice to skull technology. They already have that. We know that. It's patented. I pray that they never get to use it, because they're getting desperate. I mean, the whole, you know, one world order and new world order, all that, they're the ones. They want everybody on their knees. You'll have nothing and you'll be happy. That's them. They're deep, deep, deep underground, deep state, evil dwellers that want to rule everything. No meat, eat bugs. It's good for you. That's where it's all at. And that's where it's going. So I thought I would talk about that again, because it isn't over, folks. It's getting closer and closer, in fact. Don't panic. Don't panic. Because I believe that, take it for what it's worth, but there are aliens. We can't be alone. And it's getting closer and closer. People want to know. They think people can't handle it. Yes, there's a lot of stupid people out there that are going to freak out. But we want to see this. I'm ready. Let's go. Because it can only mean us moving forward for the better. I know that's what's going to happen. That's why they don't want it to happen. They don't want you getting better. It's pretty simple. Speaking of control, those of you who are on TikTok was bought by Larry Ellison, who owns Oracle. And, you know, they said, oh, you know, bad China. China's trying to get all your information. All these platforms have all your information, folks. Surprise. There's no difference. There really isn't. And then they forced it, and then Larry Ellison bought it. And I got to tell you, since the changeover, I've been banned from TikTok. I don't really talk about anything bad, but I talk about things that they don't want me talking about. They don't want you being hipped up to all this stuff. They don't want you to know the reality of what's really going on. And they banned me. So I started another one. I tried again. Within 2 weeks, they banned me again. And I don't really say anything that bad. I don't get that deep into detail, blood and guts. But I tell the truth. And they banned me. So I had enough. And then I just started a pseudo name, and I just go on there because I like a lot of people that I watch, and I'll post some things. But they gave me a hard time last night. I posted something. I peeled it. They put it back up. But too late. You know, you lose the algorithms or whatever. TikTok has turned into a QVC. And they make you jump through hoops to sell. If you want to be on there, they throw you a bone, better algorithms, blah, blah, blah. It sucks. They're probably going to shoot themselves in the foot. But so many people are hooked into it that it's hard for it to just take a dump right off the bat. But it's not the TikTok that it was. It really sucks. But Larry Ellison is so friggin' filthy rich. He has not only bought TikTok, he owns a ton of media. A ton. And this is scary. Here you go.
All of this is now owned by one single family, the Ellisons. This is billionaire Larry Ellison, and this is his son David, and they've been on an absolute spending frenzy. First, they took over CBS Paramount in 2024 on behalf of Israel. Then last year, Larry Ellison bought TikTok, also on behalf of Israel. And now the Ellisons are taking over Warner Brothers for $111 billion. Keep in mind that Larry Ellison is the largest single private donor to the IDF, and he just so happens to be very close friends with Netanyahu. They wouldn't be trying to run some kind of psychological operation on us. Would they?
Why can't Israel be doing some sort of, counterintelligence, information warfare like this, where they are actually doing the same type of, like a psychological operations in America?
All of this comes as, for the first time in American history, American support for Palestinians is greater than that of Israel. Probably all just a coincidence.
Do you see what happens if only a few people own a lot of things? Same thing happened with travel agencies. When travel agencies started going to hotels.com and Kayak, and you think you're trying to get a better price. You're going to, this website and then that website, and it does a comparison to see who gives you the best price. Little do you know that all 8 of those sites are owned by the same person. So it's all a scam. They make you feel, just like here in America, they make you feel like we're voting. They want to make you feel like you're doing something, but you're really not. They already have it pre-planned on what they're going to do, but they want to make you feel like you're important. Same thing. He owns he's buying Warner Brothers. And I mean, everybody's getting out of Hollywood anyway, and it's all going to be going somewhere else. But he can put on, just like TikTok, if they don't like what you're saying, they just alter it to where you can't say that anymore. George Soros bought a gazillion radio stations so he can make sure that the narrative goes the way he wants it to go. So there's no competition. There's nobody speaking their mind. Just like when people say that they think I suck or they hate me or they disagree with what I'm talking about. Okay, but that's a good thing. I'd like to know why. I can't ever get them to come on the show. I'm going to start working on that. I'd love to hear from them. I don't mind them coming on the show if they don't like me. Let's find out why. I'm not right at everything, but I'm bringing information from other people. I'm the middle guy, thinking this is worthy of showing you. So you got Larry Ellison. He's owning all this stuff. It's almost like if you like a certain type of music, and you say, I'm going to listen to this kind of music, and I own all these radio stations, so we're going to have all these radio stations play this kind of music. Same thing. Same thing with the news. Who was it? Tim Kramer brought that up a couple of years ago about the narrative. The minute one person writes a catchphrase, and within 10 minutes, majority of the news stations are all saying the same thing because they're all in cahoots together. That's not good. No independent thinking. No bipartisan. They're now pushing a narrative. And he's owning too much stuff. I saw already what he's done with TikTok. God knows what he does with the rest of the stations and for the poor people who fall for that shit and listen to it. And that's everyday Joe. You don't know any better. You're just listening to the radio. You're just watching TV. Why would TV lie to us? That's the biggest problem, trying to get over that mental mind screw of why would they lie to us? They're lying to us because they want you to do something a certain way. Just like education. They've dumbed down education. Sucks. So keep that in the back of your head. It's good. Come in handy. Speaking of ridiculousness and takeover, Mondami, the new mayor of New York City, he's already going down in flames. I mean, he promised everybody free this and free that. And within months, everything is going up and going to be out of control. And people, it's like, stupid. You believed them. Nothing in life is free, folks. But he's a Muslim. He's going to start bringing all his Muslim friends in there. I was talking about that earlier on in the show about, this is how it starts. Put them all in lower government, and then they start bringing their friends in. Same thing like any other business. I don't know if you want to call it nepotism or whatever, but they have a direction. Their direction is to consume and take over. And then once they're in there, they start showing, you get them in as the board of superintendent of schools. They start pushing, before you know it, they start pushing the Quran, the flying this flag, just like, it's just getting to get out of control. But here's Mondami. Here's New York City. This is in the mayor's office, him holding court with all his buddies. This isn't good, and it's not going to end well, but I want to bring it to your attention. Keep in the back of your head. Here you go.
Make some of that. you're asking yourself how you can reconnect to who growing up with being taught that.
What happened to separation of church and state? I always hear the left talk about we cannot have religion and politics. These guys are sitting on prayer rugs in New York's City Hall, a public building, chanting Allahu Akbar, the same things that the 9/11 terrorists screamed when they drove the planes into the Twin Towers. Allahu Akbar is a war cry. And they are sitting there with the Muslim mayor of New York on the floor with their asses in the air, doggy style, praying to Allah and the Prophet Muhammad, who fucked a 6-year-old. What are we doing? Look at this scum. Look at this guy. Look at this. Why are we allowing this in New York City? Of all places, I mean, no city in America should have this, but New York City is the home of the largest terror attack ever conducted on American soil. And you have a Muslim mayor. You know how he's mocking you right now? Do you know how he's mocking us right now? Do you know how the entire Muslim world is feeling right now, laughing at New York? We got taken over without a shot. No, it is not okay. America is not and never will be a Muslim nation. Muslims do not have a place in American society when their goal is conquer and terror. They are incompatible with the Constitution, and this is pissing me the fuck off. I'm sick and tired of seeing this shit.
Well, at least he's honest because he's talking the truth. Now, some people are going to say, why does he have to swear so much? It's like, he's got a valid point. You're not going to feel it until it's too late. You're not going to feel it until it's way too late. That little rash you had on your arm, you thought, oh, it's not a big deal. And then it starts getting worse, but still, it'll go away. And then it gets worse and you keep ignoring it because it can't be anything too serious until it becomes serious. That's what's going to happen. Now, again, I truly believe when push comes to shove, it'll be almost like a revolution. American citizens will not put up with this stuff. But it'll be so deep, and why do we have to let it get to that point? It's pretty blatantly obvious. They tell you to your face, they're not conforming. They're here to conquer. They're here to take over this place. And they're already starting. I mean, you put it in the back of your head, you'll be hearing it. Dallas, Michigan, Minnesota's, every state. Little communities getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I talked about it on last week's show. If you really want to learn more, watch last week's show with expert on Muslim civilization, Mr. Paul Sutliff. He knew what he was talking about, and I brought it to everybody's attention. You need to know these things. It's important. It's your life. It's your children. They're going to have to deal with this stuff. Education is key. Don't be so stupid. Don't be blind. Oh, but I'm just busy. It's like, yeah. Be busy until you don't have a choice. Again, I bring this for your good, not mine. I already know this stuff. Comes a point where you got to just start speaking your mind and letting people know that, like, enough is enough. Speaking of speaking your mind, this lady says enough is enough. She's tired of all the Democratic bullshit. Like, all these people just bought into this stuff and they believe it, and it's just pure stupidity. But don't believe me. Listen to her.
There ain't no way, absolutely no way, that any sane-minded, common sense American cannot see the delusion that's happening right in front of us. I'm telling you, stuff done flipped upside down in people around here. This far left done lost their grip on reality, and they proving it every single day. They complain about everything. Everything the president do, y'all got something to say. Everything he do, everything. He closed the border. You complain about that. Why? He protects Americans. Y'all out here protesting about that. Why? He stands up to an Iranian regime that's been oppressing, okay? Torturing, murdering its own people. And y'all have no compassion. That's inhumane. Y'all still out here complaining. Then you held up the funding. You shut down the government. Y'all done throw a temper tantrum like little bitty children. Because what? He dared to defend this nation instead of bowing to y'all agendas. Thank you, God, for this president. And now y'all want to cry about money. Y'all crying about money being spent on this war or on a war? Where was this energy when Obama was sending millions of dollars overseas? Where was the outrage? Somebody tell me, where was the outrage when the Biden administration, they sent billions of dollars pouring into the Ukraine. Y'all ain't said nothing. Where was the shutdowns then? I want somebody to tell me, where were the shutdowns then? Where was the moral lectures then? From the folk who's okay with hormone therapy and puberty blockers for children, minors. Where was the outrage about all this money that Biden sent, Obama spent? Y'all ain't say a word, not a word, quiet as a church mouse. Because as long as that money was flowing out of America and back into y'all pockets, y'all was fine.
That's right. A bunch of crybabies. They've conditioned you to just complain about everything. No matter how good he does, and believe me, he's having a hard time, and he still gets up every day and fights the good fight because you guys are trying to take him down kicking and screaming. He's a felon. He does this. He does that. He cured cancer. He's bad. He closed the border. He's bad. It's like, grow up. Use your head. I'd be on board with you if it made sense, but it doesn't make any sense. That's my problem. I just don't see it, and nobody has come on this show. I really wish people would just come on, talk to me to try to change my mind. I'm open. I tell you, I don't know everything, but I bring people who do know a lot more than me on the show. And I have a thought process. I know if I stick my finger on a hot stove and burn my finger, that's hot. Don't do that. I've even done it twice, but eventually I learned. But these grown adults and you guys out there are no kings. It's like, what friggin' kings? Bunch of bullshit. You guys are just stupid. You're being stupid. And I'm here to help you. Put that in the back of your mind. Here's another woman. All right, the TSA. Right now, we got poor TSA people, and the airports. They're making we the people. They're making you miserable on purpose and trying to blame it all on the orange man, all so they can cheat in the elections coming up. That's the main goal. They're doing this because they can't win, and they got to cheat. Here, put it in the back of your mind.
So, hey, if you're curious as to why our Department of Homeland Security is defunded and partially shut down right smack in the middle of a conflict in the Middle East, because it makes no sense, right? Like, why would that happen? Well, listen up.
Are in a DHS shutdown right now because Republicans have refused to agree to the type of bold, transformative, meaningful, and dramatic reforms we are demanding in order for the Department of Homeland Security funding bill to move forward. And I won't go through all of the demands, much of which we've talked about repeatedly in the public, but one of those demands is keep ICE out of sensitive locations. And we've defined that as schools, houses of worship, hospitals, and polling sites. We want an explicit prohibition that ICE can go nowhere near any polling sites in the United States of America. It's one of our demands. We're not going to bend on it.
It is actually shocking to me that Hakeem Jeffries actually came out and admitted to all of us that illegal immigrants are more important, that he wants them protected in election polling places. Illegal immigrants are not allowed to vote in our elections. So explain to me why ICE would be there and why that would be a concern for the Democrats. I mean, it would just act as a deterrent to make sure that illegal immigrants don't show up at polling locations to vote because they're not supposed to. But Hakeem Jeffries wants to make sure that they're not deterred. That's crazy to me. He actually has come out publicly and said that. So tell me again that they're not halting the SAVE Act. They don't want to pass voter ID and proof of citizenship in elections because they want to fucking cheat. They want illegal immigrants to cheat. There's no other explanation for this, guys. There's none. And as far as the safety and security of Americans go, they could give two shits of a rat's ass about you and me.
And that, my friends, is the truth. He flat out said it. I mean, what would be the big deal if they had ICE agents at polling stations? It's like, doesn't matter. They're not doing they're not going to do anything, right? They're just going to stand by. They got to cheat. They got to cheat. They got to cheat. He flat out says it. They have nothing left. You know what I mean? They've got nothing. And I'm going to play this. I played this a few weeks ago. This is AOC telling someone about they're not hurting the American people enough to get them to bend, because they're trying to make the American people suffer, which they did it a few months ago when they shut down the air traffic controllers and all kinds of, just money. And it was affecting all kinds of things. It trickles down. And they did that on purpose because they, until they get you hurting to where you start taking it all out on the orange man. They have to cheat. They've got nothing else. And these words, again, you're watching these videos. They're saying it out of their mouths. I'm not making this stuff up. So here's once again, AOC flat out telling whoever's willing to listen that they tried to hurt the American public and they just didn't do it hard enough. And maybe that's why they're going at it again now, because they do not want the SAVE Act to pass. And if you think that the people that are saying how hard it is, it's going to hurt people because it's going to be so hard to have ID, most people that are legal already have ID. All right? And if you don't, what are you, a friggin' vegetable? You don't know how to go get ID? It's not that hard. And you should have ID anyway. So it's all a bullshit excuse, and they make it sound, and these people that are preaching how this is going to ruin things, people won't be able to vote because they're too stupid, and it's like, no, you're too stupid, and if you buy into what they're saying, then you get what you get. Here's AOC, because this is just dumbfounding. They're flat out telling you to your face, but most people don't see this stuff. That's why I'm bringing it on the show. I'm hoping that you'll see this stuff. It's important. It's that important. Wake up. Here you go.
Well, AOC said the quiet part out loud, didn't she?
That Democrats are weak, and that next time we just need to hurt working people and working Americans more. Hurt working people and working Americans more to get them to.
So much is said. In fact, she literally said, we didn't hurt working class Americans enough to get them to fold. They didn't hurt you enough. Are you sure? With COVID, with the interest rates, with the illegal migrants, with the taxes on taxes on taxes, the fraud, waste, and abuse, and all your you didn't hurt them enough? How are these people in office? Sometimes I wish I was in office so we could get ready to rumble. I would fuck these people up so hard. You have the audacity on camera to say you didn't hurt working people enough.
Her words. Your Democratic AOC, Miss Loudmouth, telling it like it is. So, I'm not lying. That's not fake AI. It's the real deal. Remember, on this show, no AI. The real deal. Good or bad? Mostly good. John Fetterman, the one Democrat who I thought was going to be the biggest wacko, has become one of the most sensible people who just wants what's good for this country. If Democrats would follow and be common and be sensible like him, I would jump back and be a Democrat. But the problem is they can't make a bunch of money if they do good stuff that's in favor of the American people. If they ran the country in the best interest of the American people, that would blow all the money laundering and scams and all that. So they don't want it. So he's an outcast. We should have this country like true blue. Everybody happy. No crime. People getting good education. Children growing up being healthy. God, what a dream. That's the way it's supposed to be. But here's John Fetterman. This makes total sense. And about the war, everything, because we're going to talk about this. Now we're up to Iran, this current, if you want to call it a war. It's not going to go on forever. But it had to be done. The presidents have been threatening to do this every time they're running for presidency, and they never did it. And finally, we got somebody who's going to crush these people. Because let's face it, the Muslim regime, they're animals. They don't care. They will kill you in a heartbeat. And just for the record, Iranian people, I said it last week or the week before, Iranian people are not Muslim. They're Christians who got taken over by a Muslim regime. Okay? I know maybe they kind of look alike. They're darker skinned because they're all from the Middle East, but their ideology is not the same. They are Christian people who got overrun and overruled by Islam, the Iranian regime. They've been suppressed and they've slaughtered these. They don't care about them. They just run the country, which is going on all over the place. And it's going to happen more and more if people don't start waking up. Well, here's John Fetterman, and we'll get back to that. This makes a whole lot of sense. We're reeling it in right now, people, so I hope you're taking this in. There you go.
Your Democratic colleagues say that they don't think the administration has a clear end game in Iran. Do you have concerns about how they know when to be done with Iran?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very much aware that I'm the only Democrat in the Senate that supports this operation, and I'm going to continue to do that. And I would remind all of your viewers, whether it was Hillary Clinton when she was running for president.
And I want the Iranians to know that if I'm the president, we will attack Iran. Because whatever stage of development they might be in their nuclear weapons program in the next 10 years, during which they might foolishly consider launching an attack on Israel, we would be able to totally obliterate them.
It will be totally, again, obliterated.
Or Kamala Harris when she was running just in 24. In fact, she actually identified Iran as her top concern. You know, she called Iran a grave danger.
I'm clear-eyed. Iran is a destabilizing, dangerous force in the Middle East. And let us be clear, Iran is not only a threat to Israel, Iran is also a threat to American personnel in the region, American interests, and innocent civilians across the region.
And now every single Democrat agrees that they can never allow Iran to acquire a nuclear bomb. And now Donald Trump has done that, made that virtually impossible to achieve their nuclear weapons, and they've effectively broke the entire Iranian military apparatus. I don't know why we as Democrats, if we had all those kinds of goals and those kinds of concerns, and now that he's achieved that, why now we only can criticize that, or they could always make it seem like it's been a failure or things are out of control. That's just categorically not true.
Democrats.
If the Democrats bombed them, which, you know, Obama's done it a bunch of times, nobody said anything. It'd all be wonderful. But again, the childish bullshit of anything Trump does, it's bad. It took somebody to finally step in and go, you know what? This has been going on for decades. We got to stop this. It's finally time to come to an end. We're always being threatened. We're always having to keep an eye on these people. It's time to stomp them out because they don't want us alive. If they had it their way, they'd take us all out. All because they don't want to live and let live. It's their way or the highway. That's the whole Islam thinking. You assimilate to them or you're not worthy of living. Ask them. Watch last week's show. It's blatantly obvious. It says it in their Quran, which was written by a guy who wrote all his things to satisfy his needs. It's the truth. Finally, again, you don't believe me? Listen to somebody who is Iranian, Persian, whatever you want to call it, but they're living this. They know. They're getting bombs dropped on their head and they're glad for it. It's a small price to pay because the Islamic regime is wiping these people out right now. They killed over 50,000 people in this past month alone. They're not their people. They took over that country. In the 70s, Iran was kind of like the United States. Women wore dresses. They went to school. They were just people living life. And then they got taken over, and then there's no singing, there's no music. You got to cover up except for your eyes, or you'll be killed. You'll be killed. Women are meaningless to them. They're just to be used and thrown away. Here, this is a heartbreaker. I mean, this is what's really going on, and this pretty much sums up this whole our current event going on right now. So whatever your thoughts are, I hope they're in this direction, or if you didn't know any better, you will now. Here you go.
They executed 3 teenagers this morning, the day before Persian New Year, while getting bombed by Israel and America. Those of you that are still so worried that America and Israel are killing civilians in Iran right now, don't worry your pretty little dead black hearts. Islamic Republic is still doing a great job killing civilians in Iran. They have become so weak because of Israel and America that their only biggest enemies right now are 18-year-old boys in prison. They killed them, they executed them with the first Islamic prayer this morning, the day before Persian New Year. You know how cruel and vile that is? How demonic it is? To kill teenagers, execute teenagers. Where the fuck are you, all you activists? Speak up, they kill teenagers. Do you understand why we don't have Islamophobia? We have Islamic trauma. Every single prayer that we hear reminds us of execution, killing, raping, and torturing. It doesn't bring any calmness to our minds. It only brings stress and trauma. Every single Islamic prayer only brings trauma and cries and anger and screams to our mind. Ah! The day before Persian New Year, these families have to bury their kids. May the death of Islamic Republic be very painful and very fast. And all of you who are still against this attack, you guys are the biggest enemies now. The blood of these beautiful angels are in your hands now.
They don't care. The Islamic Republic does not care about the Iranian people. They just run the country and rule that country because they were taken over. Persian people, Iranian people are Christians. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who are unaware of that. And they are slaughtering them now because they're useless to them, because they're not one of them. Before they were under their, they had them all right. They had to do what they had to do. And now these people are starting to stand up for themselves because we're trying to give them freedom. The worst thing that could happen is like, we stop and they go right back to where they were, except they killed, tens and tens of thousands of Iranian people. All that for nothing. Kind of another Afghanistan. And I'm pretty sure Trump's aware of that, and he doesn't want that either. But at the same time, this isn't going to be a forever war. He's aware of that too. He won't go down like that. He's trying to crush them. But again, everybody's fighting him. Fighting him. Bad man, bad man. She doesn't seem to think so. I hope that this information was worthy of keeping in the back of your head, okay? You can write and send comments. I'm sure I'm going to hear about all kinds of things. Love me, hate me, whatever. It's all out there. I'm just presenting it. Speaking of presenting, I want to remind you, Wednesday, April 1st, right here, New York Nick, Then and Now. I have an old friend that's going to be on the show. Talked to him about a year ago when he was walking away and getting out of the bar business. He was a former rock DJ, and he used to have a weekly show even up till a year ago. What was it called? Radio Free Pensacola. He used to do a show, and I used to go and sit in with him, and we'd cut up, and we'd do a Facebook Live and all that. But I told him 6 months when you're out of the business, you're going to be climbing the walls with nothing to do. And he's like, Pete, I got a million things to do. Well, we're going to get him on the show, and I'm going to pick his brain and see where he's at. And I'm going to let him join me. I think I'm going to read all the nasty comments that I get and see what he thinks of them, how creative they are and all that. But we should have fun. It's going to be a lot more fun than tonight. Tonight's serious business again, but it's important business. We're going to have a little more cutting up next week, but it's still education with a purpose. Wednesday, April 1st, right here, New York Nick, then and now. Had him on a year ago on the phone, and I'm going to get him on the show this time, I think in person. And we're going to see how he's doing a year after getting out of the business and how his life's going and what he's doing, because he just dropped out of sight. I don't even get to talk to him that much this whole year, but I've been busy too. A lot of things going on, but join me, won't you? It should be fun. Wednesday, April 1st, right here. New York Nick, then and now. That's good. I want to thank everybody who stuck it out, listening, watching in the future, live. Good stuff. I hope it's worth it to you. Let me know what you think. I want to thank everybody, and don't forget, every Wednesday, like clockwork, Life of Peter G, The Peter G Show, right here, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. God willing. It takes a lot to get this show together every week. It does. And we're going through a lot of changes right now. We're growing. This week alone has been pure havoc. Things are changing. The look is changing. The feel, the vibe, everything. But it's still little old me. So I thank you. Share, please. Please, everybody share. That's all I ask is send it to a friend. Follow, like, subscribe, all the above. It's all good. But I appreciate you. I really do. And lastly, as always, be kind. We are going through some weird times. There's a lot of confusion, and that confusion is being purposely implemented to confuse, keep everybody divided. So many people I know that we like make believe like we don't hear each other just so we don't get into arguments. I'll never get into an argument. I'll never be one of those guys that say, screw you, you can unfriend me and all that. You're entitled to your opinion. Just explain to me why. And even if we don't even agree to disagree, I've got too many years with people that I love. Stop it. But I bring information that I'm hoping you'll consider, but some people, that's no matter what, you could show them, the color red, and they're going to say, no, that's green, because they told me that was green. So you can show me it's red, even though I've known it was red in the past, but green is red. I mean, red is green now. And that's shameful. I mean, it's kind of sad. And there are some people like that too. They just don't want to know the truth. It's not about who's right, who's wrong. It's about what's right and what's wrong. So thank you. Share. Be kind. You don't have to be an ass, but you don't have to take a bunch of crap from people either. All right? Life is too damn short. And I know. I feel like it's getting shorter every day. I'm having a hard time keeping up. But I'm keeping up. My name is Peter G. I want to thank everybody for watching. Please have a great week. See you next week. Shows are on demand. You can watch them anytime you want. Share them. It's so important. All right. It's so important. And that's it, folks. But it. I love you guys. And peace out.
Peter G Show.